still have an opponent. The goalkeeper can make saves, and for example, Trafford did well, and case against Millwall as well. So we'll make a decision, and it will be clear for everyone.
Have you spoken to Romain? I mean, I know you're right. You want passion, you want emotion, but I think it did affect him on the pitch. That argument with Dan, and then his reaction to it.
Yeah, a little bit, but we have young players. They are really well connected. They want to score. They want to be an important part of the team. So the negative side is sometimes you are too emotional, and you have to manage this emotion a bit later. So we spoke a lot, so it's solved, and move on.
And I think perhaps we have to give some credit to the two goalkeepers as well, because Trafford is 6'7", so he's not the smallest, and Jensen 6'6". I don't think Issidor's penalties were particularly bad penalties, so perhaps some credit to the goalkeepers.
Yeah, sure. We should to the target. So at least the goalkeeper has to make a save. After every missed penalty, we can analyze the situation, but on the pitch, it's more difficult because it's a tense situation. There's certainty wrong. So I repeat, we want to learn from these experiences, and I hope it will be a positive outcome at the end of the season.
And talking of hitting the target, sort of briefly mentioned it after Millwall. You do create a lot of chances, but you're not getting probably the reward that your build-up play is demanding. I mean, Job had 3 strikes blocked. Patrick had 1 tip around the post. Is it an area of concern for you? You've talked about being more clinical this season.
Yeah, I think it's important. The first idea is to create chances. And against Millwall, we created more chances than the games before, when I think we struggled a little bit more. So it was positive. There's a reaction against Millwall, especially against a strong team out of position. So I think the dynamic was positive. After that, we have to be clinical, and especially at the end of the season, because we know that the difference can be made at this point. 1 chance, 1 goal, and if we can create more chances and be more clinical, we'll be more comfortable during the games.
West Brom then at the weekend, and I think it's around surrounding the game is the emotion of Tony Mowbray obviously being back in management and at West Brom now. And I know, I think when you arrived, or just before you arrived, you spoke to Tony, and he I think gave you advice about Sunderland. I mean, what do you remember of that conversation? What is what he said to you? Is it sort of rung true about your time here?
It was a friendly conversation without many advices. So I was happy to meet him, and he's a friendly guy, very easy to speak with. So it's just a friendly conversation.
And West Brom, one of your rivals, potentially you could be playing them again in the playoffs.
Yeah, they are a good team, and good in possession, very well organized, with good players. I think we dominated the first leg without scoring, and this game will be different. It will be an away game. Maybe, yes, could be a fixture in playoffs. So still important to play this game with 100% of our best football, and we'll see the outcome.
Total Sport Northeast.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Tony Mowbray on the touchline. It is Cardigan, hands deep in his pockets. There's on the pitch. We're not far away from kick-off. There's a boiler on the pitch. There's a thrush. And all the guests, the executive box is now marching off from the centre circle. And Tony Mowbray reduced the breeze, standing in his technical area with his hands deep in his pockets. And it's a beautiful afternoon here in the West Midlands.
the heat will be turned right on.
Well, as you made the point to me just a moment ago, Adam Armstrong will be desperate to score.
He will be desperate, I'm telling you now. He'll be trying really, really hard. And, you know, as a player, you're just thinking, you're playing against him, let him know he's in the game. Because I know for a fact that the enjoyment he'll get if he gets the opportunity to score.
Familiar bit of ska music that we got so used to at Birmingham and here and Wolves over the years as the teams change ends. Sunderland in their huddle away to our left as we look down from the West Stand TV gantry here in their red and white stripes, black shorts and red and white socks. Anthony Patterson away to our left in green. So as we look down from the gantry, Sunderland will be playing from left to right.
The right lineup we said. Yeah, Garner on the right, Johnson on the left,
Callum Stiles on the left back. Hegum goes into the centre with Kyle Bartley, with
Furlong at right
back.
Yeah.
Dan Neal will get the game underway. The referee's Tom Neild, all in black, from West Yorkshire, last in charge of Sunderland's win at Luton earlier in the season. Here's Patterson kicking the ball up through the middle, sweeping away towards the left-hand side. It comes down for Dan Neal. He brings it down in front of Mowat, out to Mundle on the left of the penalty area, all into the box, but it's cleared by Mowat from 17 yards from the goal line. Comes back out to Job, and then down the right, it's Furlong who hooks it away. He's come back from a 3-match suspension, having been sent off at Queen's Park Rangers. Son of Paul Furlong, former Queen's Park Rangers player, of course. Flag up here. Offside against Wilson Isidore. Sunderland, Patterson in goal. Brown, Mepham, O'Nien and Hume, Neal and Job, Roberts, Rigmundle and Isidore. West Bromwich Albion, of course, in their blue and white stripes, white shorts, and white socks. Wildsmith in goal. Furlong, Bartley, Hegum and Callum Stiles here on the ball at the moment on the left-hand side. Dean Garner on the wing. Also Malumbi, Mowat in midfield behind Adam Armstrong. Goalkeeper Joe Wildsmith, all in yellow, who came into the team on February the 8th, has been pretty much ever present since then. He gets the ball back here at the edge of his 6-yard box in the shadow cast by the roof of the Smethwick end, in which all the Sunderland fans are housed this afternoon. So half that stand is full of red and white. Stiles down the left, looking to try and get the ball.
That's a foul.
Yeah, forwards to Johnston. Mikey Johnston, I forget to mention him before, on the left wing, former Celtic midfielder. Free kick, Roberts takes it back to Mepham, then to O'Nien, who brings it into the West Bromwich Albion half. Is fouled, it's a free kick. On the left of central midfield, a third of the way inside the Baggies half. Stadium holds just under 27,000. It'll be pretty much full. There's a few empty seats in the West Brom section of the home end at the right of us, in the Smethwick end. Free kick will be taken by Roberts. It was Trey Hume sized it up and then left it for Roberts to take. Dan Neal goes back into the centre circle. Sunderland looking for 3 straight wins here for the first time since the 1890s. Roberts ball in, headed out by Furlong, straight to Armstrong, who's taken it into the Sunderland half. He's gone wide, Adam Armstrong, and he's made a mistake, slipped it inside, straight to the path of Mundle. Back to Hume, forwards now to Roberts, and Neal, and then back behind him is Rigg, and Rigg gets it out to Mundle. Little flick over Furlong, but Furlong recovers and puts the ball out for a Sunderland throw. Right start by Sunderland. We're in the 4th minute. West Bromwich Albion 0, Sunderland 0. This throw a third of the way inside the West Bromwich Albion half on the left-hand side. Again in shade cast by the roof of the east stand. Back to Hugh, and then back again to O'Nien. Across to Chris Mepham. Mepham closed down, but he gets the ball up away from Carl and Grant, but straight back to Joe Wildsmith, the West Bromwich Albion keeper. Out to Callum Styles. Remember the bizarre fact that he's a Hungarian international. That's courtesy of his grandmother. The ball played wide to the right and swept down the right wing, comes all the way back to Anthony Patterson, who'll get a tan today on those bare arms in this wonderful sunshine. We've seen so little of it this season. It's lovely to be basking in these conditions.
Yeah, it's been lovely the last few days, hasn't it?
Mepham on the right, tries to turn away from Carlin Grant, held him off, gets the ball up. Hegum, the Norwegian international, lays it off to Styles, back inside then to Kyle Bartley. Bartley at the edge of the West Bromwich Albion penalty area, closed down by Isidore, wide to Furlong. Darnell Furlong up onto the halfway line. Malumbi lays it back into the middle, and it's out to Grant on the left and out wide again to Johnston. Mikey Johnston now taking this on, slipping it down to Dean Garner, and a tackle, good tackle by Mepham.
Great tackle.
On the goal line, and then Mepham plays the ball up to the halfway line. Hegum stabs it forwards here, looking for Grant. Styles back to Grant as Roberts tries to tackle him. It comes back to Callum Styles. Styles on the halfway line in the centre, lays it behind him to Kyle Bartley, who waits for a moment before playing it to Hegum, then out to Grant again on the left, just inside the Sunderland half. Johnston leaves it now, eventually left for Callum Styles by Alex Mowat. Here's Mowat again, and Mowat left of central midfield, taps it back to Styles. He plays a ball diagonally across to the far side, looking for Furlong. Furlong inside then to Dean Garner, I think it is, who's come away with the ball into the penalty area, trying to pull it back on the goal line.
Tackle.
Another great tackle there. Armstrong picks the loose ball up, comes to the back of the area, calls to shoot, but it's played all the way back in the end to Callum Styles.
Good defending.
And in the middle to Hegum again. Down the right from Malumbi to Armstrong, inside to Mowat at the corner of the Sunderland penalty area. Armstrong again to Mowat, but stabbed away by Chris Rigg. West Brom with it back again into Malumbi, edge of the area. Won again by Chris Rigg, and he drives it up to the halfway line, trying to get Isidore away. But Bartley makes the block there for West Bromwich Albion. Coventry 1, Burnley 0. Just up the road, as the ball played down the right of the penalty area into the 6-yard box. Patterson falls on it gratefully. Furlong's ball in, but Patterson was aware of the danger and smothered it quickly. 7 minutes in, West Bromwich Albion 0, Sunderland 0. Good atmosphere, always is at the Hawthorns.
It is indeed, yeah.
As everyone's always quick to point out, the highest ground in England, above sea level in that respect. Here's Rigg out on the right to Alan Brown. Brown does well here. He's managed to play away from Mikey Johnston, gets the ball behind him to Rigg. Rigg swings it across to the far side to Trey Hume. Hume bringing this forwards now on the left for Sunderland, inside to Job. Job on halfway, Armstrong on his shoulder. Job turns and makes some space, plays it out to Mepham on the right on the halfway line. Brown is wide, Mepham goes inside, plays it to O'Nien on halfway, and O'Nien brings this into the West Bromwich Albion half and plays a pinpoint pass to Mundle down the left wing. Mundle's ball in here, looking to get it to Isidore, spot behind for the first corner of the game.
Good play. Excellent play by Sunderland.
Yeah, very quick.
Yeah.
And accurate passing, clinical passing, as Hume goes across then in front of the Sunderland fans. Most of the penalty area in shadow. O'Nien comes up, Mepham comes up, Rigg just outside the D, Mundle as well. Dan Neal back in the centre circle.
Another training ground one.
I wonder, yeah. Could be worked short to Roberts. It's whipped in by Hume, but it's cleared by Malumbi. Comes out to Mundle, who lofts it over.
It's never set right.
Over the top of the goal into the Sunderland fans. 0-0 still. Joe Wildsmith, 29 years old, former Sheffield Wednesday Derby keeper, signed from Derby in the summer. puts the ball down in the middle of his 6-yard line. Both centre-backs well wide of him in the penalty area. Ball floats out for a throw to Sunderland on the left at the foot of the east stand. Laid off by O'Nien, back to Hume, who took the throw, back to Mepham in the middle of the Sunderland half. And Mepham, closed down by Grant, plays it back to Patterson, out to Job. 4 1-all draws in the last 6 games, West Bromwich Albion. Whistle's blown, free kick to West Bromwich Albion, just back inside their own half. About the last 7 games, I should say. There's the ball now wide on the left to Johnston. Runs into Alan Brown. The ball slipped back behind to Job. Inside to Mepham. And Mepham looking for the run of Mundell. Drops over Furlong's shoulder. Back to the goalkeeper. He comes out to the edge of his area to cleanly catch the ball. We played 10 minutes. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. West Bromwich Albion 0, Sunderland 0. 6th it was last night until Middlesbrough played against 4th. But Middlesbrough's 2-0 win at Blackburn means they are now in 6th place in the Championship, putting more pressure on West Bromwich Albion. Grant out to Johnston, edge of the penalty area. Into the penalty area he goes. Onto his right foot. Shoots. It's blocked. It bounces free here. It's kept in, is it? Flag stays down. Grant has it. He's got Styles behind him. Rolls it back to Johnston. Johnston blocked here by Rigg, who's sticking with him. Johnston comes back, plays it back to Hegham, just inside the Sunderland half. Now out to Johnston again on the left, to Colin Grant again on that left wing. He looks up and then taps it behind him to Mowat. Mowat with his left curls the ball into the penalty area over Furlong's shoulder, over Hume, and out for a throw to Sunderland on the far side.
Yeah, and I think what we've picked up already in the first 10 minutes, Nick, is that, you know, the both teams want to play football, don't they? It's a good
trying to play it through,
game,
aren't
yeah.
they? Nobody's looking for the long ball over the top at the moment. West Bromwich Albion lost at Norwich last time out. Drew here, 1-1 with Hull, and they beat Queen's Park Rangers here 1-0 in the home game before that. That was the game in which Darnell Furlong was sent off. Here's Styles on the halfway line into the Sunderland half and their blue and white stripes. The lower half of the Birmingham Road end is bathed in sunshine. The upper half probably feeling quite chilled in the shade. The ball with Bartley out wide on the right to Furlong, halfway inside the Sunderland half. Back again to Bartley and then to Hegham in the middle. He lays it off to Styles to his left, and Callum Styles slips it through the middle, looking for Armstrong, tackled though by Mepham, one back by Mowat, lost again to Dan Neal. Little flick from Isidore, but he couldn't get it to Mundell. Furlong was back to Hegham, now to Styles. Styles out wide to Johnston again in front of Tony Mowbray pretty much. Goes round Brown, slips the ball through to Grant on the left of the penalty area. He rolls it into the penalty box. It's punched in the air away from on the goal line, a block. And then Johnston's gone down. Tackle. He was taken
great tackle
down, but the ball was played. It was a very good tackle.
It's a great tackle.
West Brom fans feel there should have been a penalty. The referee's going back to make sure that Johnston's all right. Patterson's on his back.
That was a great tackle. I tell you what, even Patterson did well there when the ball's come in. He's got his punch to it, got his hand to it. But what a tackle that was from Joe Bellingham. It
was a terrific tackle. I'm not sure if it was Dean Garner or Furlong in front of Patterson, but Patterson had to punch it clear because the ball was right down his throat in the 6-yard box. Johnston causing all sorts of problems for Sunderland then, but then basically being taken out by Joe.
It's a great tackle.
So there'll be a drop ball when we resume in the middle. The players coming over for drinks. And Johnson's fine, back up on his feet. Patterson's still receiving treatment. The referees had a conversation with Mikey Johnston.
Yeah, we're just going to be aware of that. It's great trickery by Johnson there to get himself inside the box.
Republic of Ireland international.
Yeah.
Born in Scotland, incidentally, born in Glasgow, but he changed his allegiance to the Republic. He comes across to the touchline. None the worse for that tackle. Patterson's up on his feet. We're in the 15th minute here at the Hawthorns. And it's 0-0. If you're just joining us on BBC Radio Newcastle, unchanged Sunderland team with Hume at left back, Brown at right back. Tony Mowbray smiling, enjoying his moment in the sun. Johnson waiting to come back onto the pitch. Plays resumed. Job is on the ball. Plays it out to Hume on the left-hand side. Back to Job. Job squares it to Mepham. Luton 1, Leeds 0. Leeds on a poor run at the moment. Changed the goalkeeper today as well. Dropped Meslier and brought in Carl Darlow, and losing 1-0 at Luton. And it would be, I mean, wouldn't it be extraordinary? But every time you talk to Leeds fans, they fear Leeds are going to implode at the end of the season and again.
Yeah.
And miss out on automatic promotion. But we'll see. A poor ball has given possession back to West Bromwich Albion here. Armstrong to Mowat. Mowat now out to Furlong on the far side. Halfway inside the Queen's Park Rangers, the Sunderland half. Plays it back. I've got Furlong on my mind. Queen's Park Rangers.
Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah.
Stripes.
Yeah, stripes. Or they playing hoops. It doesn't matter. It's blue and white, isn't it? Here's Styles, edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Job controls it, nods it away. It falls to Mowat, now Malumbi. And now Job again puts his foot on it through to Dan Neil. Neil trying to get away from Malumbi, can't, goes down, but no foul, says Tom Neil. And Furlong now on the right-hand side, just inside the Sunderland half. A reminder, we have a game on Tuesday night. Sunderland away at Norwich City at Carrow Road. We'll have full commentary of that on BBC Radio Newcastle. On Monday night, we've got Leicester City against Newcastle United, full commentary with Razor and Ando. Here's Grant. Oh, he's being tackled brilliantly by Mepham in the penalty area. I think Grant lost his nerve a little bit then because Mepham slid in.
But he had to make sure
Grant,
he got it right, didn't he?
Jumped over him.
Yeah. Got to be aware of that. You know, Grant is the one who's playing in the 10 position and he's making them runs from deep.
Corner then to West Bromwich Albion on the left-hand side at the foot of the Birmingham Road stand.
No free headers.
It's played back to the corner of the penalty area to Dean Garner, who plays it back to Mikey Johnston. It comes out then to eventually from back to Callum Styles. Coventry 1, Burnley 1. The ball floated up towards Bartley, comes to Mowat, and from 18 yards he sends it sailing high over the top into the stand, and it's a goal kick to Sunderland. 17 minutes played, 0-0. So many teams will take points off each other in the coming weeks. West Bromwich Albion, they have Bristol City, Watford and Coventry to play, and then Derby, Cardiff and Luton. All their games, the teams have something to play for in the run into the end of the season. Malumbi trying to slip the ball through to Mowat. It comes eventually to Johnston on the touchline with Malumbi, who gets it back. Well, a flick from Roberts inside to Chris Rigg, and Johnston was all over him. Malumbi was all over him. Johnston's down again on the left. He picks
he's up again now.
He's up now. Hold on. The ball on the touchline with Mikey Johnston.
I don't like that.
He was looking for the free kick, didn't get it. Suddenly he's back in action, and Grant down in the corner on the left-hand side, being hauled around by Mepham at the moment, but Mepham puts the ball out in the end.
Oh, God. He's looking for a foul, isn't he, Johnson?
He was. Styles with the throw in front of Tony Mowbray, back to Malumbi on the halfway line on the left-hand side. Malumbi swinging it across to the far touchline. Furlong heads it out. Bit ambitious, the pass.
It was indeed.
So a throw which Trey Hume takes back to O'Nien. O'Nien back to Anthony Patterson. 19th minute. And here's Mepham. Forwards to Rigg. And plays a little bit of a loose ball, which O'Nien does run onto, but then plays out off Furlong for a throw, just inside the Sunderland half on the left. Rigg seems to be dropping much deeper. I don't know, is it me or is he dropping a lot deeper than...
Who's that?
Chris Rigg.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know if that's because he's having to defend more. They've not really got an outlet ball at the moment, Sunderland. It's a free kick to...
Well, I think that's
West
where,
Bromwich Albion.
that's where we spoke about Mayenda. He gives you that little bit, something different up front where he makes them runs behind, doesn't he?
Mundle and Roberts are isolated, aren't they, on the wings? Here's Callum Stiles inside the Sunderland half, forwards again to Grant, who plays it back to Hegum, the edge of the centre circle. Bartley sweeps it down the right wing. Furlong inside to Adam Armstrong, closed down by Job. Loose ball is cleared by Mepham up to the halfway line. Isidore, his head on it, but Mundle's behind him. It's basically straight back to West Bromwich Albion, but Isidore's down. Referee stop play.
Tell you what, the referee's very considerate today, isn't he?
He is a bit. But Isidore sitting up, just holding the lower back. So another stoppage. Nearly halfway through the first half, West Bromwich Albion 0, Sunderland 0.
I think I agree with what you say, Nick. We've got to try to get Robertson and Mundle and even Isidore more involved in the game.
Yeah.
You know,
I just sense Sunderland actually being forced back too much at the moment. They're not, when they're clearing the ball, it's going straight back to West Bromwich Albion at the moment. And
especially down this left-hand side, you've seen Johnson getting more involved on this left-hand side. He's getting more of the balls, Styles.
Referee drop ball then to Carl Bartley on halfway, and he floats it up towards the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Mepham heads it out to Job. Job back to Mepham, squares it to O'Nien. Armstrong went to close him down. O'Nien puts his foot through it. Out it goes on halfway. Isidore's waiting there to come back on. Stretching. Throw, which Bartley took it one side.
Never seen that one before.
Bartley's a yard on the pitch.
He's on the pitch.
And he took a throw back to
It's something
Furlong.
balls then, isn't it, referee? What are you doing?
The referee's saying now, he's allowing West Bromwich Albion
Well
retake the
Kyle
throw. That's
Bartley.
a foul.
What was he
isn't it?
doing?
Furlong takes it back to Bartley now. And back again to Wildsmith. And Alan Brown, he came off his foot for Mikey Johnston, and now Grant ahead of him. Brown trying to win it back, but Grant manages to get it to Johnston down the left of the penalty area. Crosses, and O'Nien puts his foot through it. Over Callum Stiles' shoulder. Riggs trying to win it from him. And the flag is up. And it's a
offside again. Offside.
Rigg thought it was
good battling by Chris Rigg.
It was, and I think he felt it was a free kick for a foul, but it's offside against Isidore, who's back on. He's still rubbing his back, and it's not entirely comfortable. Mowat then back to Bartley in the West Bromwich Albion half. We are halfway through the first half. It's 0-0 at the Hawthorns. Hegum. And he just slips it to Bartley on his right-hand side, then Bartley out to Furlong. Furlong in the Sunderland half. Gets it down the line to Diangana. Trying to get it back to Furlong, but he's still got it, Diangana. Battling away with Trey Hume, who wins the battle. Finds O'Nien, and he launches it up over the halfway line. Hegum brings it down, back to the goalkeeper. And Isidore goes to close him down. It's played out to Hegum. Rigg is there, but Hegum gets it to Bartley. Bartley now looking for Johnston on the left wing. Perfect pass. Drops to him in front of Alan Brown. And he slips it inside to Grant. Back to Johnston. Runs into Job, though. And Job now trying to get away from Mowat. He's pulling him, but Job's away. Through the middle here. Job still going. Job slipping it to Mundle at the corner of the penalty area on the left. And Mundle holding off Malumbi. And now slipping it to Rigg in the penalty area. on the left, back to Mundle on the 18-yard line, shoots! Oh, fizzes across the face of goal.
That was close. Excellent play. I tell you what,
Great counter-attack from Joe.
It just seemed Joe Bellingham at his best there, driving forward. He couldn't stay with him. Good ball into Monday. He's come back, but he's not far away with that effort there.
Mundle not far wide. So 0-0 still. I mean, I think the possession stats are going to be heavily in favour of West Bromwich Albion, but there's the threat. Sunderland on the counter-attack for once. O'Neill will have to be sharp here. Adam Armstrong tried to break away from him, but the referee's blown for a foul by the Newcastle-born Newcastle United fan, former Newcastle United player, known so well by Tony Mowbray from his time at Blackburn. On loan from Southampton. Job to Neil, out to Mundle on the left wing. Mundle inside then to Hume, who slides it up to Isidore. Trying to find Rig. It could break for Roberts on the right, on the goal line, pulls it back. Cleared for a corner. Sunderland, a little bit of a purple patch for Sunderland. Patrick Roberts will take the corner on the right. Sunderland second in the shadow here. 16 yards of shadow cast by the Smethwick Road roof. And a 6-yard box jam-packed. Little back heel attempted by Mepham, but it's broken here on the left for Mikey Johnston. He slips inside of Hume, who's out on the right-hand side, now has to come and back, try and win it off Grant with Roberts. Roberts manages to knock the ball out. Throw to West Bromwich Albion now inside the Sunderland half on the left-hand side. Grant back to Styles. Styles inside to Mowat, back to Styles, and it taps it forwards to Grant. Job trying to get the ball off him, and he does. He finds Rig looking to launch the ball down the left for Mundle, but Furlong's going to get in front of him and out for a throw to West Bromwich Albion. Furlong goes to recover the ball in the corner. We're in the 27th minute. 0-0, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Later on this afternoon, Gateshead at home to Dagenham and Redbridge. Colin White and Paul Dixon.
He's going, referee? Gosh, he's not 10 yards further.
He's got 18 yards, hasn't he? Referee's been a bit lax when it comes to throws. He's taken another few yards. It drops to Trey Hume, though, and now Mowat back to Furlong on the touchline, looking to play it through the middle. It comes straight to Alan Brown, and Brown taps it to Mepham just inside him. Mepham across to O'Neill. O'Neill into the West Bromwich Albion half. Adam Armstrong on his shoulder. He plays it back to Patterson. Out in the midfield. Forwards to Mepham. Luton one, Leeds one now. And Patterson, Armstrong whipped the ball off his foot, but he had too much pace on it, and Mepham is able to clear it. And now Brown again trying to head it over the shoulder of Hegum. He gets it back to the goalkeeper. Isidore goes with him. Hegum goes down. Hegum stays down. The flag comes up for a throw to Sunderland, but it's given the referee a chance. Brown takes the throw while the referee's still down having a look at what the problem is with Hegum. So Brown will have to take the throw again. The irony here is that he'll probably get penalised for taking the foul throw now. Regis Lebris is having a conversation with Dan Neal. Hegum is going to receive some treatment here. And it's quite a lengthy conversation between Dan Neal and Regis. A lot of pointing going on, and Job's being called across now as well.
I think he's just trying to maybe that outlet, get him turned.
Hegum just sitting at the edge of the corner of the penalty being treated. 29th minute, no goals, not really any clear-cut chances. Patterson's had to punch one clear. Mundle had a smashing shot across the face of goal, just wide. Other than that, A lot of possession by West Bromwich Albion. But Sunderland looked sharp on that counter-attack, which led to the Mundle chance, so they could maybe get more joy in that area. Hegham's back up on his feet. He's just being ushered off by the referee. And the referee blowing to get everybody back from the touchline into the middle. And it will be a throw when we resume. Here, just down below us, as we look down from the gantry, Alan Brown.
Throw in. So.
Yeah, the referee's just confirming to him it is a throw. Alan Brown then. Referee just waiting a moment for everybody to get back on. Brown back to Mepham. Took it on his chest and passes it along the halfway line to O'Nien and out to Hume. On the far touchline, back to Neil. Just inside the West Bromwich Albion half. Behind him is O'Nien. Forwards again to Dan Neil. Neil, Mepham in the centre circle. And he looks up, and it's just banks of blue and white shirts in front of him at the moment. Heghan waiting to come back on again. Back to O'Nien, now to Neil again. Neil down the left, looking for an opening, goes wide to Hume. Hume back to Mundle. Mundle again, closed down by Furlong. Back to O'Nien, to Mepham at the front of the centre circle. And Mepham with Grant on his shoulder, back again to Patterson, just outside the penalty area in midfield. He plays it with his left out to the left wing. Hume heads it on, keeps it in, headed away by Bartley, drops for Dan Neil in the middle, plays it out wide here to Roberts. Roberts styles in front of him, corner of the penalty area. Roberts still has it in the box now on his left, tries a shot, took a deflection for a corner.
Excellent pass by Dan Neil.
Sunderland's third corner. Roberts jogging down to take it on the right hand side. Referee, what's he seen here? There's a loose ball just behind the goal. He wants removed. Wildsmith just
Mundle's gone down.
Taps it back to Mundle. Yeah, Mundle's sitting down now at the edge of the D. And Pete Brand is ushered on by the referee. Hopefully that's not another hamstring issue for Romain Mundle. Mayenda's taken off his training top. Is he coming on?
Mayenda's coming on.
It looks to me like this might be further problems for Mundle, because they are immediately going to make the change, and Mayenda's going to come on.
Interesting.
Yeah, and slightly worrying.
Could have put Watson on.
They could have done, couldn't they? But Mayenda it is who's going to replace Romain Mundle.
Mayenda will go out wide, will he?
I assume so. Will he play wide left? Mundle's helped to his feet, but he's going to come off. And this is a further frustration. Interesting, because he could have brought Lefay on, but they obviously didn't feel like they wanted to bring him on the wing.
You could have put Lefay on, you could have put Watson on, you could have put
Isidore
up wide left and put Mayenda up the top. He's got options.
So Mayenda it's going to be. I mean, Isidore could go wide. And Mayenda will go up front. So Mundle being replaced by Eliza Mayenda. Gets to the touchline, shakes the hands of Regis Nabris and Mayenda. And Mayenda, quick last word from Alessandro Barcerini. And he comes on for this corner from the right. Roberts, Hume is in the corner as well on the touchline on the right-hand side. Mayenda into the penalty area.
First touch,
Roberts with his left foot in towards the near post. It's headed away, out to Hume, who brings it down, leaves it for Dan Neil. Neil wide to Roberts. Roberts now dribbling to the corner of the penalty area, pulls it back to Hume, who puts it into the box. Headed clear by Bartley, comes out to Mayenda. And Mayenda trying to come past Ian Garner. He goes past him, is tripped. He tried to stay on his feet, Mayenda.
did,
He
he's
tugged
got-
back down, but it was too much.
Tell you what, good play again by Mayenda. Strong.
Because he was away past him,
He
and
was.
he would have whipped that ball in. But it's a free kick to Sunderland. 34th minute, almost on the corner of the penalty area on the
Tell you
left-hand side. Everton 0, Arsenal 1.
The thing is, he'll come back from being away with the under-21s with Spain with a lot of confidence. won't he?
Yeah. Sunderland's under-21s incidentally drew 0-0 last night with Nottingham Forest at the Stadium of Light. Finn Giragusian playing again for the under-21s. I think we're going to hear a lot more about him in the next year or so.
Good free kick here.
35th minute. There's a line of players on the 6-yard box, 2 in the West Bromwich Albion wall. It's going to be taken by Hume. Whips it in with his right foot.
Oh!
Trey Hume!
Trey Hume, behave.
2-2, and he gives Sunderland the lead from the free kick.
Take a bow.
Terrific free kick from Trey Hume.
Another training ground. Excellent. What a strike that is.
Hit it sweetly. The right trajectory, the right height, left Joe Wildsmith with no chance into the corner, and Sunderland lead 1-0.
You've got to applaud that. Tell you what, 2-2, 2 fantastic goals he scored.
Yeah, lovely goal. 2 lovely goals.
Tell you what, excellent. Tell you what, that's put another price on his head. You know, because he can assist. He's got, what, 5 or 6 assists this season?
Well,
2 strikes.
that's the point I was making to Regis Labrice this week about him playing on the left allows him to exploit his right foot. Because he cuts in on his right now.
Just imagine him from the penalty spot.
Yeah, you're right. I'm trying not to, but you
No
never know.
messing, is it?
No, there isn't.
He strikes a sweet ball. Yeah, sweet strike.
So Hume, 3rd goal of the season, 2-2, and Sunderland lead by a goal to 0 in the 37th minute. And Isidore makes a challenge. It breaks here, back to Hegem. Roberts chases back to the goalkeeper. The ball runs low, and he gets it clear of Patrick Roberts onto the head of Trey Hume. He doesn't need us to tell you that. You can hear the Sunderland fans do it for us. Throw to West Bromwich Albion. Again, Bartley lobs the ball down to Furlong, who's taken an extra 10 yards. The referee let him take a few yard steps back, but not where the throw should have been taken. But it goes back to Wildsmith, the keeper. Ball in his yellow. Hegem out to Styles on this left-hand side, up towards Malumbi or Grant. Grant then to Dean Garner through the middle. Dan Neal chasing back. Dean Garner still going, edge of the area, looking for Furlong in the bottom. Oh, he's tripped, is he? He tripped. He fell round the back of Trey Hume, and the referee's now given a free kick to Sunderland.
Tell you what, the referee's done well there because he should be booked.
He went down round the back of Hume, didn't he? Just got
He should be booked.
his feet tangled up. Yeah.
Job's picked up a knock.
Jobs, I think, he's crouched on the halfway line. But the referee's given a free kick for a foul eventually on O'Nien at the edge of the penalty area. 1-0 then, Sunderland lead with the 38th minute. There'll be a few minutes added on because there've been a few stoppages actually.
Yeah, Dear Garner should be booked for that.
Democratic Republic of Congo international Grady Diangana, former West Ham midfielder. Patterson placing the ball on the 18-yard line, but Job still receiving treatment. Dan Neal's crouched down with him. Referees come back now to assess the situation. We've already lost Mundell.
You don't want to lose Bellingham.
Don't want to lose Job.
Yeah,
no, he's a bit of a. He's made of stern stuff, Job.
big part, especially in that middle of the park.
He's okay. Coming off, he'll come back on in a few seconds. 30. Daniel having a conversation with the referee. Kyle Bartley's not happy about something. He's pointing back to the touchline to the referee. An arms outstretched from Kyle Bartley now, but the referee ignores him entirely, and the ball, as I say, at the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Patterson will take the free kick. Job waiting to come back on. Kick from Patterson, down the left, up goes Mayenda, comes back to Rigg, headed away again from the edge of the penalty area on the right by Furlong. In the middle, Rigg just trying to dink it over the top to Isidore, but it didn't execute it very well, and Heggen heads it clear. Job still waiting to come back on. That's surely 30 seconds. Johnston trying to get away.
Well done, Robert.
And a great tackle by Roberts.
Excellent.
Inside to Dan Neil. Neil.
Dan Neil.
He's caught by Mowat. He gives away a free kick. Free kick taken quickly. Job allowed back on. Grant trying to slip the ball through to Armstrong. Armstrong to Johnston. Johnston in the penalty area. A block. And then a great tackle by Alan Brown for a goal kick.
We've got to move the ball a bit quicker. Dan Neil broke down there and allowed him to break. But excellent defending again.
1-0 to Sunderland. Interesting, the last time you'll remember when Tony Mowbray was in charge at West Bromwich Albion, we had a game here and both teams were involved in the race for promotion. And Tony Mowbray, funnily enough, made some comments about Sunderland, which didn't go down well at the time. But as it turned out, Sunderland went on to get promoted, and West Bromwich Albion missed out that season, but then Tony Mowbray got them promoted the following season. Here's Hume, hooks the ball over his shoulder, looking for Mayenda, headed on though, and offside against Grant.
Offside.
Home fans and West Brom getting increasingly frustrated, and Tony Mowbray's not very happy either. He's come down to Ross Joyce, the
I don't know what he's complaining about.
Official.
Phoning. If you're offside position, foul or no foul, you're offside.
And he's pointing away to the left. He's having a long, protracted conversation with the fourth official.
Sorry, Tony, we can't be on your side today.
Free kick to Trey Hume. Hume across now to Mepham. Mepham lifting one down the right, looking for Isidore. Heggen finds Styles though. And now tapped on for Mowat, looking for Mikey Johnston. Job sprinting back with him. Johnston, the edge of the area, on his right foot. It swings right rather than left. Got a touch for a corner.
Tell you what, well done, Joe Cunningham. I tell you what, he smelt danger and he's got back there.
If that had swung to the left, that would have been top corner, but the wind and the touch took it away.
It's come off Cunningham.
It just came off his foot, yeah.
Tell you what, he's smelt danger there. He's got back.
West Bromwich Albion's second corner from the right-hand side at the Woodman's corner, below the big screen with a thrush. And the ball headed clear by Hume from the 6-yard line. Yeah, the thrush with the ball, famous symbol of West Bromwich Albion, still sits on the big electronic scoreboard in that closed corner. The ball floated in here to Dean Garner. His header across the penalty area is hooked away by Hume. Comes back to Malumbi.
I think Patterson should have come for that. It's come a long way, that ball.
And it's Mikey Johnston again on the left-hand side. Just taps it out to Grant. Carlin Grant's cross to the far post. Palm behind by Patterson for another corner. In the closing stages in the first half, Sunderland leading 1-0.
Got to weather the storm. We've got to be stand up here. No free headers again.
But West Brom get another corner. Away on the right-hand side again. Short this time to Dean Garner at the corner. Tap back and played in here and headed wide.
Free header.
From inside the 6-yard box.
Free header.
And trying to see, was it Mowat who missed the chance?
Malumbi.
No, it was Malumbi, wasn't it? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Malumbi. 4 yards out. He's headed wide. And the goal was begging, really. So 1-0 still to Sunderland. 44th minute. Live here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Players heading towards this near touchline for Patterson's goal kick, which goes right down the other side and straight to Furlong. And he'll come back throw 9 to deal with. She puts high in the air, back up towards the halfway line, the touchline, bounces out. Throw to West Bromwich Albion, just back inside their half on the right-hand side. Sunderland in their red and white stripes. Here's Bartley. We're in the last minute of the 45. I'm guessing 3 to 4 minutes will probably be added on. Here's Johnston. Back to Styles. Styles. Socks roll down into Hegem. And the 6'6" Norwegian plays it back out to Styles, who whips it down the left wing to Johnston. Caught him on the chin actually when it bounced up, but he's still got it. Job in front of him. He cuts inside, trying to shake off Job, who's sticking with him. And Johnston eventually back into the centre circle to Bartley. And Bartley to Hegem on the centre spot, looking for Diangana, who skips past Dan Neil, shoots and just over the bar.
That was close.
Not far over. Goal kick, and we will have 9 minutes.
Wow. Where'd you get 9 minutes from?
I'm not quite sure where 9 minutes came from,
Where's 9 minutes come from?
but we have 9 minutes of added time. I mean, there have been 3 or 4 stoppages, a couple of minutes each time. I'd have thought 6, 7 minutes, maybe maximum. 9 it is. Sunderland leading 1-0. And we're in the first of those 9 minutes. Patterson's goal kick. And the ball bounces out for a throw to Sunderland on the right here below us. Right below us. If we hang out over the gantry, we'd fall into the paddock. And Roberts is going to lead this throw for Alan Brown. There's a West Bromwich Albion fan sitting right down in front of us, down in the front row, who's the father of one of the mascots, and he's clearly been to the ball back in the Sunderland half. You're not missing anything. He's clearly been to the club shop today, because I noticed him earlier wearing this shirt, which has got Astle, Jeff Astle on the back. And here's Hegem heading the ball clear. And the tag from him buying the shirt is still hanging out under the sleeve.
You know why he's kept the tag on, don't you?
Why is that?
He might want to return the shirt after the game.
You may well be right. Free kick to Sunderland in there.
He's not down.
No.
After the game, he'll go back and he said, "Oh, it doesn't fit.
Yeah, it doesn't fit this."
Get me money back."
Again, West Brom fans unhappy with the decision. Free kick to Sunderland inside the Sunderland half. Even Mark Vina's come out now for a word from a couple of feet back from the 4th official. He's made his views clear. Mepham takes the free kick. We've played 2 minutes of the minimum 9 that have been added on. Sunderland leading 1-0. And in the other 2 games that kicked off at 12:30, it's 1-1 in both of them. Leeds, Luton and Coventry, Burnley. Or Luton, Leeds, I should say. As Wilson Eastaugh battles with Hegem. Hegem hooks it back up into midfield. Joe with his eye on it. It drops to Carlin Grant, who heads it down. It comes up awkwardly, and Leander fouls. Ironic cheers from the West Brom fans. They finally feel the decision's gone their way. 48th minute. Here's Hegem, takes the free kick, slip past Grant. Brown then plays it, tried to get it to Roberts, but it bounces away out for a throw, which Styles takes back to Hegem. Hegem across to Kyle Bartley, signed from Swansea in 2018. He's been here a good few years now, Kyle Bartley. Ball goes out. Furlong's taking it out inside the Sunderland half on the right wing. Throw then, which Trey Hume takes a ball off one of the cones, puts it back on again. A little bit like the Bale incident in the cricket yesterday at Nottingham, where Durham had a batsman who appeared to be bowled, but the Bale lifted off the stumps, then dropped back onto the stumps, and the batsman stayed in and scored 116. You know, sometimes fate's with you, isn't it? Here's Hegem, floats the ball down the left, looking for Johnston. I think it came off the head of Brown, but Johnston keeps it in on the touchline. Now trying to get past Brown, slips it to Grant on the 18-yard line, back to Johnston, but intercepted by Rigg. Gets up to Isidore, back to Rigg. Rigg now looking for the run of Isidore. He'll have to stretch and sprint and gets on the ball down the right here, corner of the penalty area, into the penalty area. Heggham's going with him. Isidore, the corner off the Norwegian.
Good play.
Good
Nice
break out of
good
defence.
break.
A little bit of luck involved, but they still rode that and have won a corner in the 5th minute of added time.
Good time to score. The second.
Roberts then down in the corner to take the kick. Sunderland's 4th corner. Hume comes out to the right as well. And Rigg is in the D. Mayenda's at the back of the penalty area as well. The wind blew the ball off the quadrant briefly. He's put it back, Patrick Roberts. There was a fair breeze blowing through the stadium. Roberts then, both arms raised at the right, left-footed into the near post. Oh, they make a mistake, but Bartley managed to clear it. And he's put it behind for another corner. They nearly actually conceded an own goal there because it was a poor corner, bobbled up to the player at the near post, and he just didn't control it. It went back over his shoulder for Bartley just to knock in the air and concede another corner. And Hume jogs across to the far side to take it in the 51st minute now of the 9. What happened here? O'Nien's in the bottom corner of the.
It was a
net.
push.
He made a meal of that one.
Yeah.
Gets it back on his feet. The referee's had a look. There's that many players in the 6-yard box, mind. The referee's coming again. He's saying, hang on a minute.
Get it sorted out.
He's dragged out Isidore here, or Isidore's come out of his own accord. O'Nien's been hauled out by Tom Neild. Furlong's ushered away. O'Nien's been spoken to. Now goes back into that group of players in a muddle, in a huddle.
He's going to give a foul. He's going to give a foul.
Something's going to happen here. Hume then from the left-hand side. It's a short corner, and he's given a free kick.
Yeah,
that was inevitable, wasn't it?
That's beast. Come on.
Free kick to West Bromwich Albion.
How silly is that?
Out to Hegham, out to Styles. We're in the 52nd minute now. Up to Grant on the halfway line on the left, into the Sunderland half. Looking for the run of Styles here. Cross comes Mepham, but Styles goes round him. Pulls the ball back, and O'Nien clears. Far too easily. Styles getting past Mepham then. And now Rigg plays it inside to Isidore in the Sunderland half. He does well, gets the ball to halfway, back to Rigg. Behind him is Alan Brown. Brown back to Mepham. Sunderland leading 1-0. Played nearly 52 minutes, a couple of minutes left of the first half, up to an offside Isidore. It's almost like a mantra, isn't it, that with Isidore offside. The ball in the middle with Mowat, the middle of the West Bromwich Albion half. To Bartley, down the right to Furlong, nearly slipped as Mayenda went to close him down, but it comes back now to Alex Mowat, just inside the Baggies half in the centre circle, plays it to Styles. Styles wide again to Johnston. Johnston inside to Grant in the middle, back to Mowat. Mowat, short pass to his right to Bartley, and he plays it down to the left of the penalty area. It's brought down well actually by Johnston, slightly unorthodox in the way he did it, but he puts the cross in and it's headed out by Hume. Styles heads it behind for a goal kick.
I think you can see, in his first 4 to 5 minutes, where West Brom's danger's coming from, and it's on this left-hand side with Johnson. You've got to give him credit. He has caused us 1 or 2 problems, and that's what we've got to deal with. That's the one that they're looking for all the time.
Signed in the summer from Celtic, but he'd been here on loan previously to that permanent deal. Patterson then with the goal kick. We're in the last minute of the 9 being added on here. Drops for O'Nien, who lifts it over the top for Mayenda to bring down in the penalty area on the left. Heggham's gone with him. He's forced him out towards the touchline, but he's still got, and he sweeps it now into the penalty. Squares it behind Roberts, though.
Great play.
What strong play, though, from Mayenda.
Excellent.
And he's whipped up the crowd behind the goal. We've got less than 15 seconds of the first half of those 9 minutes to play. But you can see what Mayenda brings to the table when he gets hold of the ball. The throw drops for Neil, back to Hume, and it's whipped into the penalty area, but knocked out by Mowat to Grant.
Must be out.
He's playing up towards the halfway line. We're into the 10th minute of added time. The ball on halfway. It'll be half time now. So half time whistle blown by Tom Neild in the 10th minute of added time. Trey Hume's goal, terrific free kick in the 35th minute. It's given Sunderland the first half lead, and that after a half hour really where West Bromwich Albion were dominating possession. Sunderland didn't really have an outlet. Unfortunately, Mundell's gone off injured. Mayenda's come on, but the worry is that Mundell's got a repeat of his hamstring injury for the
Well, I hope it's not too bad, but we know what we're going to say now for the second half. It's about managing the game, Nick. Again, it's a clean sheet wins you the game. What we've got to do, we've got to make sure that we're on our toes, especially down this left-hand side against, obviously, Brown. The lad Johnson is the one who's causing us one or two problems. He's the outlet, really. But going the other way, Mayenda's come on, he's looked right. And, Job is crucial for us in the middle of the park. We've seen what he brings to the team.
Took a bit of a knock, but he appears to be absolutely fine. Second half, I guess, look, you've said about managing the game. A second goal, of course, is what would be ideal. I wonder, I get a feeling we will see Enzo Lafay at some point.
Yeah, we will see him. And again, I think, being disciplined, that's what we've got to be. We've got to be disciplined, especially defensively.
So the second half to come here live on BBC Radio Newcastle and SAFC.com. At the break, the goal from Trey Hume is the difference between the two sides. At half-time, West Bromwich Albion 0, Sunderland 1.
On BBC iPlayer.
They showed us great big houses and gardens. Just a pack of lies, wasn't it?
Starring Michelle
Well,
Keegan.
football prizes have gone and done it again, haven't they? This time, it's the biggest ever Sunderland competition to date. So a chance for you to enter, an absolute must for any Sunderland fan. It is only 39p to enter, so you need to get yourself in there. There is a link in the description to enter the competition. Fantastic prizes you can win. There are signed squad shirts, individual shirts, Bellingham, Lefay, Rigg, 09, all those shirts. Some of them are even in custom LED frames as well. There are Jules shirts in there. There's just, to be honest, there is so much. It's hard to list everything. You need to go and have a look at it. Check out the prizes. Get yourself entered. Like I've said, it is only 39p. There are also over 100 instant win prizes as well. So click the link. Check it out. It's football prizes. It's their biggest ever Sunderland competition. Get yourself entered for just 39p.
Against Stoke, QPR, Cardiff, Sheffield Wednesday versus Hull, and Swansea Derby. In the early kickoff in the Premier League today, it's Arsenal 1, Everton 0 at Goodison Park. Trossard with the goal for Mikel Arteta's side. And then later on at the Saturday, it's Crystal Palace against Brighton, Ipswich against Wolves, West Ham, Bournemouth. And then at 5:30 this afternoon, it's Aston Villa against Nottingham Forest. Our second commentary game today that comes in the National League. Gateshead against Dagenham and Redbridge. Colin White and Paul Dixon are on commentary duty for us this afternoon at the International Stadium. And join me now. Good afternoon to you both.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dom.
Colin, it's important that Gateshead stop this bad run that they're on at the minute.
Yeah, that's an understatement. They've lost 6 in a row. They're 8 without a win. The last time they did win, the one I mentioned this to Carl Magny yesterday, the last time they did win was the last time we did commentary on them down at Solihull in February. So that's what we are clinging on to today. They are still in the playoff positions despite having lost 6 in a row, and you can draw 2 conclusions from that. One is that the start to the season was very good and they banked a lot of points very early on. The other thing to draw from it, the teams around them aren't putting together great runs either. Southend are a very kind of flaky team. Rochdale, Halifax, they've all won and lost a couple in the last 5 or 6 games. Tamworth, actually, who came here and won not very long ago, putting on a real surge to have a late run towards the playoffs. Gateshead sit in 7th. They're just a point clear of Southend, who are in 8th. 7th is the final playoff place in the National League. Gateshead hosts Southend here on the final day of the season. We are hoping that a playoff place is secured by then. But Paul, Gateshead have played teams quite far down the league in the last 6 weeks and failed to dispatch them. Why is today going to be different? Today going to be different?
Well, that's a great question, and I hope the answer is yes, it will be different. I've watched the last 3 games here, and they're not the same team. I mean, we talked about it coming over from the studio, talking about people like Greg Ollie, Butterfield, and Buddy, which is a marvellous midfield. They're not now playing for Gateshead, and they've just changed the team round. There's been injuries, people, being loans called back, loans coming in, selling players. It hasn't been, a momentum of players playing week in and week out. And I feel sorry for Carl Magny on that. But, when we were down at Solihull, and I mean, they've done enough. They won, and 3 great points and everything, right? They can kick on and cement a playoff position. They're now in 7th position, still in a playoff, right?
Yeah.
But they've got to start winning games. And teams like Dagenham and Redbridge here today, they've got to be able to just push them to one side. But can they do it? Well, it's a chance today, and it'll keep them in the playoff position.
Exactly. There are all sorts of stats that you can throw at people about how mad a season it's been, and 51 players they're up to 52 if Tim Akinola plays today. That'll take it up to 52, and that's since Carl Magny took over as well. So that's October. Today will be the 19th different back 3 combination in a row.
Yeah,
it is just extraordinary. Their injury list actually is now pretty small.
Yes.
You mentioned Greg Ollie, Jacob Butterfield.
Yeah.
Joe Grayson is fit enough to be on the bench today, but not fit enough to start. But he will play at some point today, I think. Everyone else is fit. They've actually got a very strong squad now, but they haven't. It's not a squad that's used to playing together.
Well, they have, and what they've got is a squad that's capable of definitely being in the playoffs and pushing for Football League when they're all fit. Getting them all fit has been really, really difficult this year. And if you haven't got your best team out all the time, it's difficult. Now, the teams that came up here at the beginning of the season, this was a fortress, right? But now, there's teams, in the bottom 6 have come and getting the result. So, I mean, like Dagenham and Redbridge, they'll say, well, we're not playing Real Madrid or Barcelona today. So they've got a bit of a chance,
Yeah. It's a beautiful afternoon at the International Stadium. Lovely and sunny, a little bit chilly, a little bit windy. The pitch is okay. It's sort of 75% okay. We'll hear from Carl Magny in the build-up later on. We thought we were going to start about 2:30, but the injury time at the end of the first half at the Hawthorns means probably about 2:45. But Dom, we will join you once the Sunderland match is finished.
Colin White, Paul Dixon, thank you very much for the moment. As Colin says, build-up will start straight after the Sunderland match. Elsewhere, non-league-wise, today, South Shields, they're home to Brackley in National League North in the Northern Premier League Premier Division. Blythe Spartans are already relegated, are away to Hyde United. Morpeth, who are chasing a playoff place, are away to Matlock Town. Heaven, who could really do with a win. They've only won twice in this calendar year so far. They're home to Ilkeston and can do Morpeth a favour by beating Ilkeston this afternoon. In the East Division last night, Heaton Stannington, they beat Bishop Auckland 2-0. That moves them up to 12th in the table ahead of today's fixtures. And then Ashington are away to Liversedge. Concert against Grimsby Borough, and Dunstan, who are second in the table. Maybe a slim chance of the title. They are a to Garforth today, but they feel like they would have to win today if to keep those hopes alive. In the Scottish Learned Park Rangers, they are away to Albion Rovers. There's no Women's Championships games this weekend because international break. England beat Belgium 5-0 in the Nations League last night. Lucy Bronze from Northumberland netting the first of those managers. Serena Wiegman has been speaking to the BBC's Rob Schofield.
It's never perfect, but how the team was performed on the pitch, what we wanted to do, and also then other players coming in, keeping the dynamics, keeping things simple also, that was really good. Yeah, and scoring 5 goals. I think we should, you almost say you should have scored 5 goals. Scoring 5 goals is not easy. We expected to play against a strong Belgium, where we said we have to break a ball. And I think through the dynamics of the team and getting in positions, getting the depth and creating chances, I think we did really well. And we know they're dangerous in the counter-attack, and they had some moments, but I think overall we did really well.
Yeah, good win for England last night. They're away to Belgium on Tuesday night, away from football and in cricket to start the county championship. Division 1. Durham are away to Nottinghamshire. It's day 2. They were delayed this morning for bizarre sprinkler reasons. Durham eventually started the day on 370.49. At lunch, Martin Emerson can bring us up to speed.
Well, it's another sunny day here in Nottingham, and not the sort of conditions where you would expect the players would have to leave the field because of dampness, but that is exactly what happened. Just as they were due to start the day's play today, they spotted that one of the sprinkler covers was leaking just off the square, and then all of a sudden all of the sprinklers came on, so that led to a 45-minute delay. So they lost 4 overs today, which they'll try and get back tomorrow, and it's going to be a late finish today. When they did get back on, Durham's innings only lasted about another 13-14 minutes before the final wicket fell. Paul Coghlan LBW to Fergus O'Neill for 11, with O'Neill, the debutant from Australia, taking 5 wickets for 81 runs on his Notts debut. And at lunch, Nottinghamshire, they haven't really had too many scares so far. They're 48 for none. They faced 16 overs. Hasib Hamid has 17, Ben Slater 31. And there are 70 overs left in the day, Notts trailing by 330.
Ball-by-ball commentary continues on the BBC Sport website and after due to get underway in about 5 or 10 minutes time. To horse racing, and last year's winner, Iron Maximus, heads the runners for the Grand National at Aintree today. Here with all the detail is the BBC's John Hunt.
Maximum field, 34 contenders then for the Grand National, and I Am Maximus, last year's winner, is back to try and win it again. If he could do so, he would join Red Rum as the first horse since those heady days in the 70s to carry top weight to victory in the big race. Rachel Blackmore is back for more as well. Remember, she famously won the race with Manila Times 4 years ago. She rides another Manila. This time it's the former Gold Cup winner, Manila Indo. But for those who don't count themselves as aficionados, maybe the likes of Hitman, part owned by Sir Alex Ferguson, Brave Man's Game, Handu Kid, 3-Card Bragg, or Twig could attract them.
Indeed, it'll be an interesting afternoon at Aintree. They set off at 4 o'clock. There's commentary on the BBC Radio 5 Live, and the race cards and results will be available on the BBC Sport website. And at basketball, last night, the Newcastle Eagles, they lost 88 points to 81 at home to the Surrey 89ers. Just quickly, in boxing tonight at the Rainton Arena, Sunderland's Travis Waters is up against Russian Artem Pugash. Travis Waters has been speaking to Total Sport. Simon Pride ahead of tonight's bout.
Well, this fight was actually supposed to be a Commonwealth title eliminator, but unfortunately the English opponent that we had pulled out for various reasons, so we haven't been able to get anything sorted. So this one's just going to be an 8-round international fight, but hopefully the next fight moving forward we can get something over the line, and obviously we can get something penciled back in and something more meaningful. But we're targeting titles in the next 6 months. Quite highly rated in the British rankings now, so hopefully I can just keep progressing, and then get one of them opportunities and prove to everyone that that's the level that I belong at. So obviously I'm coming off, I've got 5 KOs already out of them, 10 wins, but the last 3 fights I haven't managed to stop the last 3 opponents, so it'd be nice to get the ball back rolling and start knocking them out again.
Yeah, good luck to Travis Waters tonight. He's against Artem Pugash at the Rainton Arena this evening. Just quickly in darts, Chris Dobie is about to get underway against Wessel Nyman in the Darts Open over in Germany in the first round. Locally, just sticking with a couple of other things. And in Rugby League tomorrow in League One, the Newcastle Thunder, they are at Whitehaven at 3 o'clock. It's time for us, though, here on BBC Radio Newcastle to head back to the Hawthorns for second half commentary of West Brom against Sunderland in the company of Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett.
Half-time highlights.
Total Sport Northeast.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Good free kick here.
35th minute. There's a line of players on the 6-yard box, 2 in the West Bromwich Albion wall. It's going to be taken by Hume. Whips it in with his right foot.
Oh!
Trey Hume!
Trey Hume, behave. Take a
2-2,
bow.
and he gives Sunderland the lead from the free kick.
Take a bow.
Terrific free kick from Trey Hume.
Another training ground. Excellent. What a strike that is.
Total Sport Northeast.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
And the sprinklers on in the half in front of where we sit, above the pitch on the TV gantry, and it'll be the half that Sunderland are defending in the second half. With Trey Hume's goal, the difference between the two teams as we wait for them to appear from the dressing rooms. The one worry, of course, was the injury to Romain Mundle in the first half. Always looks innocuous, but sometimes these are the ones that last the longest, and one fears that it may well be a recurrence of the hamstring injury for Mundle that saw him replaced by Eliza Mienda in the 33rd minute, and Trey Hume's goal came 2 minutes later from that free kick. Glorious conditions here in terms of the sunshine. It's cold in the shade and there's a bit of a breeze blowing, but as West Bromwich Albion appear for the second half, Coventry 1, Burnley 2. Remember, we had 9 minutes of added time at the end of the first half, so the other lunchtime kickoffs are well underway now. West Bromwich Albion, their blue and white stripes and their white shorts and white socks appear for the second half, just waiting for the emergence of Sunderland, who, as Benno said at the end of the first half, just need to manage this game now.
I think they're going to bring on a substitution. They might bring on, is it Daryl Dyke?
DK.
DK, they call him?
Yeah, Daryl DK.
I think they will make a substitution.
Do you?
Yeah.
Johnston's the last out. He's just waiting on the pitch side at the moment, having a drink. Daryl DK's been out with an Achilles injury for a long time. Only been back for 4 substitute appearances.
You do remember the last time he played, he came on against us and he tortured us, didn't he?
He did. Oh, is that who Tony Mowbray's just been chatting with at the foot of the stand here? The American international, Tony Mowbray, out at the edge of his technical area. The referee emerges, as does Wilson Isidore, and he's the only Sunderland player to emerge, taking a drink down in the Sunderland dugout, waiting for his teammates, who appear to have deserted him. And West Bromwich Albion just standing around in the sunshine. The referee's getting a bit annoyed, actually. Tom Neal is actually blown and is waving his hand, trying to get Luke O'Nien and the players out of the tunnel.
They're not coming out.
They're not coming out. We've had enough.
Coming out.
And now suddenly Dan Neal comes out, and the West Brom fans boo Sunderland as they emerge. Dan Neal is being spoken to by the referee now. Dan's pointing back at the tunnel. It's a quick conversation, but the referee clearly wasn't very happy. And so the one change then Sunderland made, Mienda for Mundle, and you think DK might come on?
I think he might come on. Well, he's not coming on at the start of the second half, but I think they will.
At some point, yeah. Everton 1, Arsenal 1 as the whistle blown by Tom Neal for the start of the second half. Sunderland in their red and white stripes, defending the Smethwick Road end to our right, the Smethwick end, sorry, and we watch Sunderland playing from right to left then in this second half. Styles made a break forwards, he's played the ball back onto halfway to Hegum, then to Alex Mowat on the halfway line. Hegum again, the Norwegian, who have been playing at left back but has slipped into centre back this afternoon, and the ball out for a throw to Sunderland. The referee made the decision, not the assistant, who did finally flag for a Sunderland throw, and it's played back in the penalty area across the face of O'Nien. Has to sprint across to the left-hand side in front of Dean Garner. He does well to turn Dean Garner and get the ball up to the halfway line, but it passes Isidore and goes back to Callum Stiles, who's at left back for Tony Mowbray's team this afternoon. Here's Stiles again, just inside the West Bromwich half, to Mowat, back to Hegham, across to Kyle Bartley, forwards to Mowat again, then Malumbi, and Malumbi out to Darnell Furlong on the right touchline, back to Malumbi, and then to Hegham in the centre circle. Stiles on the left-hand side, looking for the run of Johnston here, and also Carlin Grant. Great challenge by Jobe. It comes off Grant for a goal kick. Jobe, who slid in and forced Grant to put the ball behind.
Great defending again by Jobe. His tracking has been unbelievable this afternoon, hasn't he? But I think that's about the third time he's tracked back.
He sprinted back with the play, yeah. So we're in the 48th minute now. Sunderland leading by that Hume free kick. In the 35th minute, Grant lays it off to Johnston again, wide on the left, inside to Mowat. Mowat now to Malumbi. Malumbi through to Dean Garner, is closed down. The ball breaks though, possibly for Grant on the left side of the penalty area. Behind him is Johnston. And Johnston swings the ball in. Oh, it gets right down through to Mepham to clear. People were sticking legs out, but it dropped into the centre of the penalty area and Mepham cleared it.
Yeah, they've got to weather the storm, Sunderland.
They will have to.
Yeah, first 15 minutes.
Bartley gets the ball away from Isidore to Hegham. Stiles, far side up to the halfway line. Blue and white stripes, and he plays it back then to Mowat. Mowat swinging it to the right wing. Dean Garner, he's taking on Hume, who just blocks him. Great tackle. Throw to West Bromwich Albion.
It'll be a long throw from Furlong, won't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
He gets the ball back from the ball boy. Darnell Furlong told to stay where he is in terms of where he is along the touchline, but it is going to be a long throw. He goes right back to the paddock wall, and everybody drifting into the penalty area. Alessandro Bartrini is yelling instructions to the Sunderland defenders, and Furlong hurls it into the penalty area. It's headed out to the edge of the area, hooked on by Chris Rigg. Callum Stiles is being chased down by Isidore, but Stiles lays it off to Furlong. 29-year-old now on this right-hand side. 21-year-old Tom Fellows has been deputising for him in the last 3 games, with Furlong suspended. Here's Malumbi out to the left again. Mowat and Johnston tackled. They looked for the throw. Sunderland, it did come off Johnston from Roberts' tackle, and he's frustrated. Johnston threw the ball down. Throw which will be taken by Alan Brown, halfway inside his own half. Nearly 50 minutes played. Sunderland lead 1-0. Paul knocked on and out for a throw from Chris Rigg to West Bromwich Albion. Mowat again. You can see why he clocks up so many passes. He's on the ball a lot, Mowat.
Yeah, he drops deep.
Out to Malumbi, wide to Furlong. Mayenda in front of him, back again to Malumbi. Sunderland have gone with playing Isidore through the middle and Mayenda on the left. And it's West Brom who put the ball out now for a throw to Sunderland on the right-hand side. In the sunshine, the foot of the east stand. Alan Brown with the throw again for Sunderland. Finds Rigg, who's pushed down. A little nudge in the back from Alex Mowat. Free kick to Sunderland. No signs of any changes, though DK is warming up. Here's O'Nien. Oh, a short pass which is intercepted by Dean Garner, looking for Grant, but across came Mepham and whips the ball behind for a corner to West Bromwich Albion. And down goes Mowat to take it. Dean Garner's down there with him in front of the Smethwick end. taken short to Garner. Garner rolls it back
out to him.
to Johnson just outside the penalty area onto his left foot. A sea of bodies in there, and the ball bounces through to Patterson. 1-0 still to Sunderland. Rolled out to Trey Hume here on the left. A couple of yards in from touch. Looking for Dan Neil. Intercepted by Garner. The ball goes straight to Rigg. Rigg out to Roberts on the right wing now. Roberts taking on Styles. Cuts across the 18-yard line. Styles stabs it away. Straight to Chris Rigg. Rigg's immediately closed down by Malumbi, and Rigg concedes the free kick.
Got to be quicker, Chris Rigg. He's got hurt there.
He's kneeling down on the pitch at the moment. Picks himself up, hobbling a bit. Referee Rigg's appealing to the referee. Styles has taken the free kick quickly. Grant run on to this, and he's got it out to Johnston on the left-hand side. The combination of those two, which have been so problematic for Sunderland in the game. Inside to Mowat, quickly to Malumbi, back to Mowat. Blocked by Alan Brown. Great block going across the front of Mowat. And Patterson gathered the ball on the goal line. Both players are down. Mowat on his back. Alan Brown sitting down, clutching the inside of his right ankle. Referee's indicating that Mowat is all right and doesn't want any medicals team on the pitch. They're both okay.
He's done well, the referee.
Not according to West Brom fans.
Huh?
You heard what they're singing. He has, though, hasn't he? I think he's let the game go. He's not been over dramatic. And the drop ball for Patterson, the outcome of all that. 1-0 to Sunderland in the 53rd minute. Following us, full commentary of Gateshead against Dagenham and Redbridge on BBC Radio Newcastle. Ball played back to Patterson, closed down by Adam Armstrong, up towards the halfway line. Garner threw himself at it, but didn't get anywhere near it. Dan Neil plays it away from him to Roberts, back to Dan Neil. Malumbi's on his case, but Dan Neil turns away and gets the ball to Mepham. Very calm and collected Dan Neil here in the middle in the centre circle again. Slips it to Roberts. Roberts now trying to get through and finds Rigg. Rigg, edge of the area, finds Mayenda at the left corner of the penalty box, plays it back to Trey Hume on his right, shoots. Just whistles past the post. Curled in, 22 yards, and a goal kick to West Bromwich Albion.
This is where you need to get your Dan Neil on the ball to manage the game.
Yeah. Ball played out short to Hegham. Hegham up the halfway line for West Bromwich Albion, headed on by Job, won back by Mowat. Job went to intercept, but it played out from Malumbi to Furlong, keeps it in, down the line to Garner, and in goes Hume. It's a corner, but he slid in, made no mistakes. Now Sunderland have to defend this. West Brom's sixth corner, Alex Mowat coming down to take it again. On the right-hand side, in the shadow of that end, that penalty area has been pretty much constantly in the shade throughout the game, and remains so. Mowat then, Garner's down here as well, but Mowat takes it, curls it in towards the far post, headed out away strongly by Mepham. Out to Isidore. Isidore on the right, taking on Johnston, still going. Isidore blocked by Malumbi, comes back here to Rigg, who's foul, and quickly takes the free kick to Job. Job up to the halfway line, looking for Mayenda on the left wing. Mayenda tackled by Garner, loose ball picked up by Job. Garner tackles him, comes down to Carlin Grant on this right-hand side. He's tackled by Job and Mayenda. Mayenda inside to Dan Neil in the centre circle now. And Dan Neil brings it into the West Brom half to Chris Rigg. Rigg out to the right, played it on to the foot of Hume is on that, or Roberts, sorry, on that right hand side. Tried to slip Brown in, but won back by West Brom. And Kyle Bartley will play it out to Garner, who's got Hume in front of him. He goes round him this time, and Garner into the middle now. Carlin Grant, Job's in front of him. Grant out to the right here. Diangana's still with him. Grant is going to pass the ball to Diangana, who's walking at Hume on the edge of the penalty area. Onto his left, finds Mowat, flicks it back inside, back out here to Callum Styles, who shoots, it takes a deflection and bobbles past the post for a goal kick. 1-0 still to Sunderland. '57th minute.
I'll be thinking of making a substitution, Nick, that's for sure.
West Brom have got their substitutes warming up. Patterson. Armstrong goes to close him down, plays it out to Chris Rigg. Had to be quick, was nearly caught by Carlin Grant. Ball goes out for a throw to Sunderland. Deep in the Sunderland half on the right-hand side. Alan Brown to take the throw. Needs some help. Patrick Roberts is over there. And Rigg trying to cut across. Referees encouraging Brown to get on with this. And Brown still needs some help here. Finally, Isidore comes back towards him. Styles gets in front of him. The ball played back to Bartley on the halfway line. Now it down to Johnston, down the touchline. Brown going with him. Johnston to the goal line, pulls it back. In comes Malumbi, but is headed away by Hume. There's a bit of argy-bargy going on in the penalty area. A couple of players go down. Play goes on. Styles back to Hegham. Out wide on the left-hand side. Whipped in by Johnston. Goes back out to the left wing. He keeps on it, brings it down. Isidore tries to win it off him, but he's held off. And it's played back.
Go on, Isidore.
Bartley who caught Isidore. Referee doesn't give any free kick. Isidore's down. The ball is out. There's a bit of fury amongst the Sunderland players around the referee now, and the West Brom players around him. And is that Hume on his back?
Hume on his back, yeah.
As Lefay warms up. Isidore sitting. Hume lying on his back. Referee's come back, and again he's saying, I don't want anybody on the pitch. And he's urging, Patterson has come back to get the ball off Patterson. Isidore's back on his feet. Hume's back on his feet. And it's going to be a drop ball on the far side.
Tell you what, credit to the referee. Like we said, he's stuck by his guns, hasn't he?
He's given the ball to Alan Brown for a throw.
They're making a substitution.
And West Brom are making a change. Might be even more than one. Throw taken. And referee's blown. He's booked Brown for time wasting. Warned him before from the throw, and he's now booked him. And the throw will go to West Bromwich Albion. No, Brown's got the throw again. Now, yellow card.
Tim Roberts. Any more he can boot for this throw-in?
I mean,
get away, he says. Go on, ref.
So, Roberts
on a mission. Yeah.
For a little bit of nonsense on the far side. Throw taken.
DK's coming on.
Yeah, he is. And Tom Fellows.
Tom Fellows, yeah.
So a defender and a forward are going to come on for West Bromwich Albion. Sunderland leading 1-0. We played nearly an hour. Well, we played an hour and nearly 10 minutes actually, with the time that was added on at the end of the first half. Hegham puts the ball out. Good pressure throw to Sunderland, just inside the West Brom half. Now is Furlong going to come off and be replaced by?
I think they're going to go three at the back or something.
Do you think so?
Yeah, they're going to do something. Trying to get back in the game, aren't they?
A flick on by Roberts. It's run back to Wildsmith, the goalkeeper, out to Malumbi through the middle for West Bromwich Albion in the sunshine here, and out to the right wing to Furlong, back to Bartley, and then to Hegham. And Hegham bringing this into midfield, plays it to Styles on the left-hand side. Styles lifting one up through the middle. There's two attacking Luke O'Nien, who heads the ball out to Hume, who's closed down by Armstrong. The ball's in the air. Furlong somehow gets a foot on it. Through to Carlin Grant. A battle for Dan Neal. He does really well there to stretch and take the ball on. Now plays it wide to the left, looking for Mayenda. Gets on the shoulder of Furlong into the penalty.
That's a penalty.
And the referee says,
"Oh, he's got the other way."
West Brom, yellow card for Mayenda.
Referee. And he's given him a yellow card.
Yeah.
Hold on. Diagani did something in the first half.
Didn't get any card. Mowatt's coming off. DK coming on. Is he going 4-4-2?
I think he got no.
DK's going on up front with Armstrong, and Fellows is coming on for Dean Garner.
Yeah.
So those are the changes. Fellows is up right side midfield. He's going on as a right winger. And the ball from the free kick at the edge of the penalty area, tapped by Bartley to Wildsmith. In the 62nd minute now, 3 players booked for Sunderland in the space of 3 minutes. But Sunderland crucially lead 1-0. But DK up front now. Armstrong's dropped off behind him. Fellows out in this right wing. Grant in midfield. Here's Malumbi on the halfway line. Isidore gives chase. The ball laid off to Styles. Styles to Johnston, who rides a challenge from Roberts and cuts inside. Comes off Roberts, the ball to Malumbi at the edge of the area. He's pulled down, brought down by Joe. There's another free kick to West Bromwich Albion, 19 yards out on the left, just outside the penalty area. 63 minutes almost played. 1-0 to Sunderland.
Yeah, Grant fancies this one, doesn't he? Callum Grant.
Yeah. 6 goals, Carlin Grant, this season, but the last of them was on December the 29th. He's not scored in this calendar year, so I hope I'm not tempting fate there. But he, as you say, will fancy the
is
free
it too
kick.
close to get it up and over?
Strong chance it is. Sunderland's players ranged out across 12 yards in the penalty area. Grant, and I assume that's Johnston, just to his right. Grant tries to play it through the wall. It comes off the wall, down to Malumbi. It's blocked again. His shot from 18 yards. And
Well
Isidore
done.
does well
Well
to
done,
chase back
Isidore.
and stop the corner.
Excellent defending. That's excellent.
64th minute. 1-0 Sunderland lead. Throw to West Bromwich Albion. They're looking, well, the ball boy's thrown the ball back to Furlong. The original throw taker, Johnson, I think it was, has dropped the ball, and Furlong's going to take a long throw. In he comes, hurls it right onto the head of Mepham, out to Malumbi, his shot blocked again. Isidore nods it down for Rigg, who completely miscues his shot, missed the ball entirely. And away come West Bromwich Albion with Johnson. He's cutting back inside now into the middle, and Rigg has gone with him. The ball breaks into the penalty area. O'Nien lashes it clear up towards the halfway line. Bounces here in front of Malumbi. Mayenda trying to go through him. Mayenda gets the ball.
That's a foul. That's a booking.
That's a booking.
Well
Yellow
done,
card for
Mayenda.
Malumbi then.
Excellent.
Again, strong play from Mayenda.
I tell you what, we have done well today. We have defended. We have put bodies on the line, haven't we?
It's been quite a physical game, hasn't it?
Yeah,
They stood up to that.
we've closed down well.
Trey Hume then will take the free kick. Looking for Roberts on the far side. Styles heads it away. Drops for Alan Brown. Brown taps it to Roberts. Is trying to win it back here on the far side. It comes back to Brown, and Brown wide again to Rigg. Gets it inside, looking for Roberts, but intercepted and won by West Bromwich Albion, and bringing it up towards halfway. Grant stumbles, wins the free kick. Fouled by Joe, says the referee. Styles comes forwards takes the free kick quickly to Carlin Grant. And Grant now wide on the left. Johnston further forward. He comes back to Styles on the halfway line. And across to Bartley. And wide to Fellows. And Tom Fellows now meander in front of him. Fellows, ball in Solihull, just down the road. And England under 21. 2 appearances and 1 goal for the under 21s, so not a bad return for the 21-year-old. And out wide to Johnston on the left now, trying to come in past Roberts and Brown. Plays it back to Styles to Hegum. And now Malumbi, and Malumbi wide to Fellows. Closed down by Meander. Fellows trying to take him onto the goal line. Crosses, it's headed behind by Hume. A 7th West Brom corner. Down here on the right.
Here.
And coming down to take it is Grant, actually, this time round. Fellows out wide on the right as well. Carlin Grant then with the corner on the right-hand side. It's an outswinger, looking for Bartley, headed away by Hume, driven back in by Johnson, who gets a second volley, well over the top. Punched back by a West Brom supporter down to the pitch. And Patterson rolled a new ball by the ball boy sitting behind the goal line.
Making a substitution, we are.
And it's going to be Hjelde who's coming on.
Hjelde.
Yeah. We're halfway through the second half. Leo Hjelde and Tommy Watson sitting still. I thought for a moment he was warming up, and it may have been just precursory, just to keep him warm. The ball headed away by Mepham up to Isidore. And he blocks it. It comes back down to Brown, forwards to Isidore again, out to Brown. And now picked up by Hegum, back to Wildsmith, the goalkeeper, in bright yellow away to our left.
We did think he'd come on for Hjelde.
Do you think he'll go 3 at the back?
Isidore.
He's looking. Oh, now the ball over the top for Fellows to run onto. Squares it. O'Neill blocks it. Out to Meander on the left wing, and he's wrestled down by Furlong. It's a free kick. It's going to be a change as well for West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah.
Tamabani, who's a Dane forward, is going to come on.
Yeah.
So substitutions about to be made. Hume will have a free kick. I think the free kick will get taken before the substitutions are made.
They might go 3 at the back.
I just wondered that. Yeah, I wonder if they will go 3. The ball up towards Isidore, heads it high in the air in the West Brom half. Yeah. Bounces high again, and everyone leaping for it. Rigg can't get on the end of it. Malumbi back to Styles, and Styles now closed down by Rigg, plays it back to Hegum. Hegum through the middle, Malumbi to the left to Styles. Sunderland lead 1-0 in the 70th minute, and Mepham dealing with the ball played down the left, but Carlin Grant runs onto the ball, which he nodded down Mepham, and eventually it's out for a throw to Sunderland. Tony Mowbray talking to Tamabani now, and it's Johnston who's coming off. It's been a nuisance, actually.
Isidore will come off. I think Hjelde will go as a wing back, won't he?
Hume drops into the middle as a 3.
O'Neill and Mepham will be centre backs. I would imagine Brown plays a wing back. Hjelde plays a wing back. Lafay's coming on. He'll come on for Chris.
Yeah, Lafay's coming on. We thought we'd see both of them.
Yeah.
And as they worked back into full fitness. Here's O'Neill, edge of the area, clears it in front of Daryl DK, and up into the West Brom half. Meander, a chase with him and Armstrong. The ball goes out for a Sunderland throw.
I think Milton Isidore.
The chase to be made now. I think. Roberts is coming on for Lafay. And he's told to go off the other side, the far side, by the referee.
Gone out there.
And the other change will be Brown.
You've gone to right back,
so
Hjelde left back.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Hume goes across to the right. Hjelde will play on the left. And I think this is the way that will be the formation going forward, in sense of Alan Brown was makeshift, wasn't he, at right back? Once Hjelde's fit, get him back in at left back and Hume back to his normal position at right back. Lefay playing out as the number 10. Where's Rigg gone?
Rigg's gone out to the right.
He's gone out to the right.
Yeah.
So now
Lefay's gone into the 10 role.
Yeah, he's got him in the role he wants him. Regis de Vries. We're in the 72nd minute. Sunderland still lead by a goal to nil. And the throw for Sunderland, which Hjelde will take down this left side. Headed on by Bartley on the wing. Neil gets a foot to it. Hjelde puts it back up onto the halfway line. Malumbi brings it down. And with Isidore pushing up to him, he plays it back to the goalkeeper. Plays it out to Malumbi. Isidore goes with him. It's played on into the Sunderland half. 09 hooks it away from DK. Great touch from Lefay. Lovely ball through to Isidore in the penalty. He tries to place his shot straight to the goalkeeper, but an instant impact from Enzo Lefay with a beautiful touch to bring it down and play it through for Isidore to run onto. Out comes Styles on the far side, inside to Malumbi. Malumbi closed down by Lefay. Bartley out wide to Fellows. Fellows now. Mayenda tracking him. Fellows down the right here, trying to come past Mayenda. Gets a ball in onto the roof of the net for a goal kick to Sunderland. So still 1-0 to Sunderland. At least Isidore's shot was on target.
Yeah, he was set right though, was he?
No.
You know, again, he should have gone with maybe his left foot or added another touch.
1-0, West Brom still in it, of course. We're in the 73rd minute. Ball drops over Chris Rigg on the right. Styles brings it out through the centre circle. Malumbi looking for the run of Fellows. Across comes Patterson, grabs it at the feet of Tom Fellows. Patterson all in green. A reminder, full commentary follows the game here from the International Stadium, Gateshead against Dagenham and Redbridge, with Colin White and Paul Dixon. As the ball brought down by Lefay on halfway, but this time Tunney whips it off him. Bunny whips it off him, gets it into the penalty area, and DK
well done,
was hoping for the ball played in by Grant, but cleared by 09 into touch. And a throw quickly taken by Styles, looking for Banet on that right touchline. Back to Styles. Styles cutting across into the centre, rolls it back now to Bartley, Malumbi, and wide on the right-hand side to Fellows.
On the outside.
Fellows again. Mienda's trying to stick with him, a left foot cross this time, and it's nodded back by Grant, looking for DK, but Mepham heads it back out to Grant on the left side of the penalty area, and he's trying to shake off Hume on that far side, pulls it back to the edge of the penalty area, and it's clipped in towards Fellows, and Hjelde heads it away. Mienda will stop it going for a corner, plays it out for a throw to West Bromwich Albion.
Where's he taking the ball from?
And Malumbi,
it's got a bad back there, hasn't he?
Referees, he's told him to go back and take the Furlong, take the throw back further in the correct position. Furlong with the throw then, back to Bartley on the halfway line on the right-hand side for West Bromwich Albion. Just over 15 minutes to play. Hegham, closed down by Lefay. Back to Wildsmith, the goalkeeper. West Bromwich Albion's next game is on Tuesday night at Bristol City, so it's a massive game for them, because Bristol City, like West Bromwich Albion, they're all virtually on the same number of points, trying to get into the playoffs. It's Furlong down the right of the penalty area, pulls the ball back, stabbed away by Jobe very calmly, and now played by Mienda, looking for Lefay, but it's not a good pass. And a free kick for a foul by Lefay on Styles. Taken by Armstrong quickly, tap back in the centre circle to Styles, out to the left now to Carlin Grant. Banet wants it played down the left, Grant's taken it on into the penalty area, tried to cross it, blocked by Jobe, throw to West Bromwich Albion. 10 yards from the corner on the left, quickly taken back to Styles, down the left again here to Bunny, inside to Grant, squares it for Furlong, and he's played it, and it's blocked by his own player, and then cleared by O'Nien on the 6-yard line, and he's won a free kick for the foul by Furlong.
Yeah, he's shot City's own player. Was that from Furlong?
It hit DK, wasn't it?
DK.
Furlong hit DK. Tried again and blocked by O'Nien, who was fouled in the process. And free kick to Sunderland. O'Nien picks himself up off his knees. Sunderland leading 1-0, 77th minute. The referee's having a word with Malumbi, who's not happy about something pointing out towards the touchline. Coventry, of course, were losing to Burnley 2-1. Middlesbrough currently in 6th place because they won last night. Sunderland, I mean, I haven't done the maths yet, but they will probably be mathematically safe in the playoffs in the next game or two, the way things are going. Here now is Malumbi through the centre circle for West Bromwich Albion in the sunshine, looking to try and get it to Furlong. Helder cuts it out.
Oh, you can't lose the ball there.
Caught Job, finds Banet, he plays it to Grant at the corner of the penalty area on the left. Grant trying to find a way through. Styles on the left crosses, headed away by Job, knocked down by Lefay to Rigg. Won back though by Carlan Grant on the far side. Lays it off to Hegham. Hegham just inside the Sunderland half, in the middle to Malumbi. Behind him is Bartley. Kyle Bartley wide on the right to Fellows. The Elder cuts it out. Comes back to Malumbi. Malumbi now forwards to Furlong on this right-hand side. Furlong looking for DK at the edge of the area. Daryl DK Pyre is trying to power through.
Foul.
But to foul on O'Nien.
Yeah, it was a foul.
It was a foul. Caught him on the ankle. O'Nien's making the most of it. The referee coming to have a lot.
Substitution.
Yeah, Will Lancashire, who's on loan from Spurs, who's a forward. He's going to come on. O'Nien's okay. Armstrong's coming off. He's had a quiet afternoon, hasn't he, Adam Armstrong? And also
Lancashire.
coming on is Diakite.
Diakite.
Usman Diakite is coming on for Hegham.
We've got DK and Diakite.
Yeah, Usman Diakite on for Hegham, defensive midfielder.
Yeah, they've taken off the centre back.
I'm wondering, will they go? Is he going to go as a centre back, or is he going to go? He's going into the middle. He's going alongside Bartley. Diakite is going to play as a centre back. 79th minute, then those two changes made. That's all the changes that Tony Mowbray can make. As the ball kicked out by Patterson for a throw to West Brom, quickly taken by Furlong. We're into nearly the 80th minute now. We've played 79 minutes. West Bromwich Albion 0, Sunderland 1. Live here on BBC Radio Newcastle. And Diakite nods the ball back. The Marley centre half or midfielder back to Wildsmith. Sign from TSV.
Oh, he's got him again. Referee.
Sunrise. O'Nien caught by Fellows. No free kick. Throw it is in the end. Furlong heads it, takes the throw, and it's headed out by Hjelde. And the fourth official's getting it in the ear now from Michael Proctor. He's had it in both ears this afternoon. And at the moment, as it stands,
defend it.
Sunderland 15 points clear of Middlesbrough in 5th place. As the ball into the penalty area, headed out, cleared by Sunderland. Comes back to Styles in the middle, and it's yes, Styles it was, and Patterson makes a great save. Lancashire trying to head it into the corner, and it's turned away for a throw. Great save by Patterson.
Yeah.
You can sense they're going to throw the kitchen sink at them.
Was it Bartley who said did that? I think it was
Lancashire. Will Lancashire, wasn't it? Furlong with another long throw in towards the 6-yard box. Up goes Diakite, up goes DK, the ball in the air again. Bartley's up there and eventually hooked over the top by Barney.
Excellent defending.
Still 1-0 to Sunderland. and a time just to take a breath, take stock. Patterson retrieves the ball.
And Mepham is ripping them up as well. The supporters get behind them, see him through this last 10 minutes.
Will Lancashire is only 19. He's scored in the Europa League for Tottenham this season. As the ball goes out for a throw, 82nd minute for Sunderland. In no hurry, Trey Hume to take it. Just 10 yards inside the West Brom half. Drops to Rigg. And then out wide to Lefay, and his touch is magnificent, but he's passed it inside and it's been intercepted. Played on now up to DK, and then Lancashire trying to get it back to DK. DK lifting it over the top. Out comes Patterson. Banny was making a run through the middle. Patterson has caught it. So 1-0 in the 82nd minute, nearly the 83rd minute. There's no way we're going to get the amount of time added on at the end of this half as we had in the first. Bartley keeps the ball in, down the line to Fellows, flicks it inside, it'll run to Kjelder. He's beaten to it though by Banny. Banny behind him to Malumbi. Lancashire lets it run through to Fellows on the right wing. Fellows in down the right side of the penalty. Crosses, DK heads over from 6 yards. Couldn't keep it down. And it's a goal kick to Sunderland. They lead still 1-0. And you can hear the home fans crying out, DK, DK. He's a big man.
He is a big man.
6'2". It's only his 5th appearance of the season because of that Achilles injury. 10 caps for the USA, 3 goals in those 10 games. And there's Luke O'Nien, the left corner of the 6-yard box with the goal kick for Sunderland, and Tom Neal's shouting at him to get on with it. And O'Nien does tap the ball to Patterson, closed down by Lancashire, and up to the halfway line. Flicked on by Lefay, was pushed over. Mayenda's gone across onto that. Sorry, Isidore was trying to get away on that right hand side, but it's gone out for a throw to Sunderland. Hume jogging down the line to take the throw. 84th minute. Hume scoops up the ball. Back to Lefay here on the right, and he's happy to play it back onto the halfway line to Luke O'Nien and back again to Patterson. Patterson in the D. DK closes him down, goes with Patterson as he kicks with his left. Furlong heads it on to Kjelder, who sweeps it into the middle. Bartley down to Malumbi. Malumbi up to DK, takes it on his chest just inside the Sunderland half, pushes it past Jobe, who blocks him, and it's a free kick to West Brom on the right side of central midfield, halfway inside the Sunderland half.
Yeah, we just sort of
got
too deep.
There's always the chance of a breakaway for Sunderland. And the free kick then will be taken on the right side of central midfield by Malumbi, I think it is. Line of players on the 18-yard line. Malumbi's kick with his right foot, headed goalwards, caught by Patterson from Bartley. Dom back in the studio. He thinks if Watford beat Bristol City this afternoon and Sunderland beat Norwich on Tuesday night, the playoffs would be confirmed. So it could be as soon as Tuesday night that Sunderland will definitely be in the playoffs. So I don't think this really is any doubt, but nice to get it underlined and the I's dotted, the T's crossed. No,
giving away silly free kicks.
Foul here on Lancashire.
Yeah, giving away silly free kicks. You know, look at Luke O'Nien, he's struggling, isn't he? He's struggling.
He's limping back into the penalty area. Climbed all over the 19-year-old who wears the number 19, the loanee from Spurs, former Arsenal, Sheffield United player, signed by Spurs 3 years ago. So free kick taken by Grant, floated into the penalty area, headed out by Kjelder actually, and now Styles runs onto this on the left side of midfield, out to the left-hand side where Bunny will try and cross, block though by Dan Neal, who runs onto it, holding off the Dane. And the Dane trying to pull down Dan Neil. He does.
On
It's a
Dan
free
Neil.
kick
Excellent.
to Sunderland on the touchline on the far side. Neil's down, feigning cramp. I don't think he probably has. I think this is managing the game, as they say.
And Luke O'Nien struggling.
Luke O'Nien is struggling. He is limping. And as cramp as Dan Neil has his legs stretched, and the Sunderland fans sing he's one of our own. So we're into the 87th minute now. West Bromwich Albion 0, Sunderland 1. It would be, if it stays this way, only West Brom's third home defeat of the season. And ironically, the three teams that would have beaten West Brom this season all have been managed by Tony Mowbray, who brings the ball down for a throw to Sunderland. Hjelde on the left-hand side here, just inside the West Brom half. And Hjelde finally finds Dan Neil. Mienda and Neil get their feet to it, but Lancashire wins it, plays it behind him to Furlong, and he's fouled. Mienda and Isidore both penalised. The free kick has to be taken again. Furlong slips it inside to Malumbi. We played 87 minutes. It's West Brom 0, Sunderland 1. Bartley at the back for West Bromwich Albion to Diakite. Diakite wide, then to Styles. Closed down by Rigg. Styles back to Diakite. Diakite across to Bartley. Bartley back to Diakite. It's finished Coventry 1, Burnley 2. High ball played over the top, which is headed away by Mepham. Picked up by Bunny, and he's played it out to the left now to Grant. Grant trying to pull it back, passes it back to Callum Styles, back again to Diakite. Diakite to the Hungarian Callum Styles. Lefay intercepts. Oh, and then he catches Styles, Mepham. Yellow card for Styles. And
Luton 1,
Leeds 1. Full time, another draw for Leeds. They certainly are going through a poor spell. And Burnley winning is certainly, they're cranking up the pressure at the top, aren't they? So free kick, Patterson's going to take this, passes it over to the left to Luke O'Nien, the 89th minute. 1-0 Sunderland lead.
Great ball.
He plays it right down the left wing, looking for the corner, looking for Isidore, who taps it back behind him to Mienda, who's holding off Lancashire, I think, and Lancashire's won it though, and then Hjelde just puts his left foot through it, right up to the edge of the penalty area. It's headed clear by Wildsmith, the goalkeeper, out to Carl and Grant on the touchline. Hume puts him off. Lefay taps it back to Hume. Hume now into Dan Neil at the edge of the area. He goes round Diakite, and then he's upended, and the flag is up.
Offside.
And it's offside against, guess who? Wilson Isidore. Dan Neil helped up by Isidore into the last minute. 1-0 Sunderland lead. 15 points clear of 5th place. Here's Wildsmith, the big kick, looking for DK or Fellows. O'Nien heads the ball away from Lancashire. Back to the halfway line. Diakite nods it down to Callum Styles. Closed down by Lefay. Back to the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper out into midfield with this. And then trying to pass it down the right, looking for DK, who gets his head on it. And across comes O'Nien, an overhead kick high in the air to get it away from Furlong. DK's looking for it, battling with Dan Neil and Jobe. And then Lefay gets a touch to it, looking for Rigg, but it falls to Styles. Out to Grant, now looking for Bane down that left wing into the corner.
Foul.
Gets pushed in the back by Trey Hume, but Trey Hume comes away with the ball to Lefay, and Lefay now turns and twists away from Grant. 4 minutes at the end of the match to be added on. We're into those 4 minutes now. And then Dan Neil almost played a dummy through to Isidore, and he's got it through to Isidore.
Look at Mienda.
Isidore against Furlong.
Look at
Mienda's on his own. Isidore's got in the area, trying it on himself. He's still going. Right footed blocked by the keeper, and a corner.
Unlucky.
And Alexic coming on for Sunderland.
Yeah.
For these added minutes, and Isidore's coming off. So Isidor's last action was to win that corner. Milan Aleksic will come on. Isidor goes off behind the goal. The Serbian comes on. That'll add actually another 30 seconds or so to the game. 91 minutes almost played. A corner for Sunderland on the right. We played a minute of the minimum 4. It's a 5th Sunderland corner. Surely it's going to be taken short by Lefay to Joe. And it is. It's finished 1-1 at Goodison, Everton and Arsenal. As Styles, a back heel down the line to Grant. Put out by Lefay, throw to West Bromwich Albion. You have to throw everything at this now in these last few minutes. Diakite inside his own penalty area, passes it to the goalkeeper. Wildsmith comes out with the ball into midfield. Everybody backing up the field, and it's kicked by Wildsmith over the halfway line, up towards Bartley, and his header goes straight to Patterson. Bartley's furious. Patterson picks himself off the floor. DK stood just in front of him, and the clock ticks round to nearly 92 minutes, 4 minutes being added on. Isidor's finally got back to the dugout, and Patterson, DK is trying to say to the assistant, come on, they're time wasting here, but Tom Neal's having none of it. The kick from Patterson over halfway, headed on by Malumbi to Lefay. Aleksic back to Lefay in the centre circle. To the right now, Hume just taps it on to Rigg on the far side. Rigg back to Lefay, and Lefay back again to Chris Mepham inside the Sunderland half, and back to Patterson in the 93rd minute here. Out to O'Nien, and at the moment, with Sunderland leading 1-0.
Right, the other side.
Lefay on the ball. He's fouled, it looked like it, but play goes on because Rigg's run onto this at the edge of the penalty area, and he's tried to go in, and he's got in, and he pulls it back behind Aleksic, and it's cleared by West Brom, but one back by Hjelde, who gets it back again from Neil, left side of the penalty. He does a sensible thing, takes it into the corner, and is holding off Fellows, I think. There's a bit of, it is Fellows. There's a bit of a tussle going on, and eventually stabbed out for a throw by Hjelde. And if Sunderland do win this, and win the last minute of the 4, first time they've won 3 on the bounce at the Hawthorns since 1894. The ball in the air. And it's headed in the air again by Mepham. Lancashire looking for it. Mepham throws himself at it. It comes down to Carlin Grant. 1-0 Sunderland lead. Grant away down that left-hand side. With him is Lefay. The ball with Grant still, but Lefay wins it and then taps it out inside to Trey Hume. Hume brings this out, and now still just lays it off to Lefay on the touchline, and back to eventually Jobe. Jobe out into midfield to Lefay again, wide to Rigg. We've got seconds left of the minimum 4. Be a question of just how much more is added on by the referee for the substitution. Mepham now just happy to kick this down the touchline and out for a throw to West Bromwich Albion in their half. We're into the 5th minute now.
Bartley's gone up front, hasn't he?
And they're throwing everybody up here because this is the last throw of the die for West Bromwich Albion. The big kick upfield from Wildsmith. Bartley goes up for it. There's a foul though on Luke O'Nien, and it's a free kick to Sunderland. We've played 94.5 minutes. Sunderland leading still through that Trey Hume free kick in the 35th minute. It's been a long game. There was nearly 10 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Another 5 minutes now nearly at the end of the second half. And out comes Patterson to take the free kick for Sunderland. We've had scenes here before. Paolo Di Canio, I remember, as the full-time whistle blown. We'll have scenes here again this afternoon because Sunderland have beaten West Bromwich Albion 1-0. Trey Hume's goal in the 35th minute. 3 wins on the bounce at the Hawthorn. Some record, bearing in mind 1894 was the last time they achieved that. But more significantly, 15 points clear of 5th place, with Coventry losing this afternoon at home.
Football
to
Prizes are running a fantastic competition, a must for any Sunderland fan. The biggest ever Sunderland competition so far. Superb prizes, and the best news of all, it'll only cost you 39p to enter. Yes, 39 pence to enter into the competition. Fantastic first prize of a squad signed shirt in a custom LED frame as well. Various other prizes, too many to list, to be honest. There is Bellingham shirts, 09, Isidore, Rig. They are all in there, signed and framed in the LED frame. There's home and away squad signed shirts. Lots to be won, including over 100 instant win prizes as well. You can enter via the link, which is in the description. Get yourself in there. 39 pence, an absolute must for any Sunderland fan. Thanks to Football Prizes.
at the front.